Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and another retro review coming at you now. Well, Great American Bash 2004 was a pay-per-view I avoided for a long time. It's a pay-per-view that I didn't watch because I knew it was bad. At the time, people were saying how shitty it was, and I was scared. I was frightened to watch this show because I just knew. I knew it was gonna be bad. There was no way it was gonna be good. But holy fucking shit, I never expected to see this much fucking garbage. This show was really bad. Let's get to it. John Cena defeats Rene Dupree, Booker T, and Rob Van Dam in a fatal four-way elimination match for the US title. Very, very fucking boring. Very boring. Cena was funny before the match. I miss it when Cena used to be legitimately funny, taking shots at RVD for his pot smoking and making fun of all three challengers. But this match was just, ugh, God, very fucking boring. And also, there were points in this match when I know it's elimination and, you don't want to break up pins, but they had Booker T and RVD just standing outside the ring looking like a bunch of fucking dumbasses, like a bunch of fucking jackasses. They were just like staring at it was like Cena and Dupree in there, and Dupree, fucking horrible ass motherfucking wrestler. Holy fucking shit, what a bad fucking wrestler. Just couldn't do anything in the ring. Very, very boring. Like, Dupree couldn't do fucking anything in there. A boring motherfucker that stood around in the company for way too long. This match really just, it bored me to death. I give it a 1.5 stars. I mean, goddamn, it was very fucking shitty for the level of talent involved. You had Booker T and RVD, and Cena was not bad at this point. You could, they could have did something with it. Instead, they ended up standing outside looking like a bunch of morons. I didn't understand that. That part annoyed me. Like, why were they not in the ring at all times? It was bad, and a bad way to open the show. It was a very boring match. Luther Reigns defeated Charlie Haas. This match came about 2 seconds before the match actually happened. An impromptu match because they didn't have anything else booked. I remember leading up to this show, because it really wasn't that long ago. It might actually be 10 years old, this pay-per-view, which is just shocking. It makes me feel very old. But I remember this pay-per-view only had like 3 matches booked for it. The others were just thrown together. This was, I love Charlie Haas. I think he was a great underutilized wrestler with a lot of great technical skill. Luther Reigns was not good. But anyway, this match was just a very, very basic and just kind of boring. 1 star. Luther Reigns beats Haas. It was sort of like a squash match. Charlie got in a little bit of offense, but this had no place on a pay-per-view. This was a SmackDown match. It should have been on SmackDown. Having a random match on pay-per-view is not a good idea. All the matches should be advertised beforehand. There shouldn't be any surprise on pay-per-view. You're paying for this shit. You should know what you're going to be paying for. It's like buying a car and then realizing that it's not the right color that you wanted. This is like, it's like a minor detail, I suppose, but you know what I mean? It's kind of big. You're spending money on it. Then I give that match like 1 star. It wasn't bad. I guess it was alright for what it was, which wasn't much. Rey Mysterio defeats Chavo Guerrero to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. This was a very good match, and it's about time. This is the match that probably should have opened the show. It was a very long match, too. It's like seemed like 20 minutes to me almost, maybe 15, 20 minutes long format here, but it was good. There was a lot of different moves. Mysterio was just very good at this time. Before the big string of injuries, Mysterio had some really good matches, around this period from like 2002 to 2004. Mysterio was very good. So this match I give it 3.5 stars. This was very enjoyable. Both guys really worked well together. The match wasn't as good as their match at No Way Out from the same year, which was a pay-per-view that I did see. And that was a very good match. That was very awesome. This one was, a little step below it, but still good. But that No Way Out match, we'll review that pay-per-view eventually, but that was a really good match between them. Kenzo Suzuki defeating Billy Gunn. I almost completely forgot about Kenzo Suzuki. This was a guy that I remember reading the internet news at the time. WWE said that the only thing that they didn't like about Kenzo Suzuki was his in-ring skills needed work. And they brought him in anyway. I don't know for what reason they brought him in, because they wanted a Japanese wrestler. They could have selected anybody from Japan to come in, mind you. Anybody else from Japan, which Japan has crazy wrestlers that are willing to do anything, take these big risks, and they choose a guy who they openly admitted was not that good in the ring. And I like Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn gets a lot of shit thrown at him for whatever reason, but I like Billy Gunn. But this match was fucking awful. It was very fucking awkward, and it just, I don't know, it was very, very weird. And the way how it ended, Kenzo Suzuki uses Christian's transitional move, which is where he has the guy in a reverse, like a dragon sleeper, and then drops down into a backbreaker, and it looked very weak. No impact on the move at all. Maybe Billy Gunn could have sold it a little bit better, but also Kenzo Suzuki did it so gently. This was just, the guy's got a cool name, Kenzo Suzuki, but, well, fuck, he's not a cool wrestler. He was a fucking joke. Cool entrance and everything, but holy fucking shit. It was a very, very lame match. I'd give it like a 1/2 star. It was very, lumbersome and clunky. Sable defeating Tori Wilson. Hot. Very hot. Sable looked good. Sable, for a woman her age, looked like 10 years younger at the time. One of, the hottest looking divas by far. Match wasn't good, but for eye candy, it was very good. I'm not going to bother rating this one. It really wasn't there for the match. Sable just gets a roll-up. She pretends to be hurt. It was alright for what it was. It was mostly on the card just so you could look at the women, and it did its job just fine, motherfuckers. Mordecai defeats Hardcore Holly. Another really just random-ass match. I even forgot how this match came about until they actually showed what the build-up was. These guys just come on SmackDown fighting out of nowhere. Random backstage brawl, which was kind of cool, but just very random. This match was put out there, and there was really no reason to have it. They just needed to throw some other match together on the card, just to have a match. And it was, not particularly bad, but just bland once again. Very blandly put together match. Not like it was botchy or anything. Not like it was clunky like the Kenzo match, but this also is just, not good. I give it 1 star. Not particularly terrible. Mordecai gets the win with the crucifix powerbomb. You know, just these matches don't feel pay-per-view caliber. They don't even feel worthy to be on a regular SmackDown or Raw. JBL defeats Eddie Guerrero in the Texas Bull Rope match. I give this match 3.5 stars. He wins the belt in this one. This was his first and only title reign. The thing about this match, though, which I didn't like, I probably would have rated even higher, is the finish to this match. They had some bullshit, controversial finish. Eddie Guerrero was announced the winner at the end. Kurt Angle comes out, replays the ending of the match, and it turned out that JBL's back hit the last turnbuckle before Eddie Guerrero could touch it, because that was the point of the match, to touch all four corners, which was very stupid. I think the four-corner touching thing was kind of dumb. I think they should have stuck with the like what they did with the strap match with The Rock and Triple H. I talk about it in my fully loaded 1999 review. You know, and I think it would have been better to make this pinfall or submission. You know, but there were a lot of like nice little bumps here, the chair shot to the head, some good stuff, but just the lousy finish. And you would think that that would be the main event. I mean, after all, it is for a world title, right? Well, no, motherfuckers, no. There was one last match. The Undertaker defeating the Dudley Boys in a concrete crypt match. Except they're not in the concrete crypt. It's Paul Bearer. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, people who watched this time remember this. Heyman has a cement truck. You got Paul Bearer in the glass case. He's pulling the lever, and throughout the match, you know, Undertaker has to stop, because if he beats up the Dudleys, he's going to keep on pouring the cement into the chamber that Paul Bearer is in. Too many Pauls, motherfucker. Anyway, the match was, even though Taker was, you know, after a while didn't care and was just fighting the Dudleys, it was very fucking boring, so slow, and I think they could have had a decent match here. Dudleys are a good team. You know, Taker, obviously a very good wrestler, one of the biggest names of all time. But, you know, very confusing why this was in the main event, and it sucked, motherfuckers. It did. It was a boring match. Very bland, just punching and kicking and nothing really happening at all in the match. Taker just then, he hits a tombstone, he gets the win, and then he ends up just pouring the cement on Paul Bearer, and that's it. You know, he's destroyed his own conscience. And I'll tell you what, I wish I had cement poured on me, because this event was fucking terrible. Fucking horrible. 2 matches that were good. That was it. And there were like 6 others that were complete fucking shit. What a horrible fucking event this was. It really lived up to the shitty factor that most people associate it with. It really was a terrible ass pay-per-view. And when they were doing these brand exclusive pay-per-views, these shitty pay-per-views were happening a lot, because, you know, they started off, when they first started off the brand extension, it was kind of weird, because they were combining the 2 brands to still do pay-per-views, and they were having good matches because they had a lot of people still. But then it was weird, because then they lost most of those good guys, and that's when they decided to do the brand exclusive pay-per-views. And this wasn't just on this show. Many other fucking shows like this kept on happening, with shitty fucking matches just constantly being put on. They would do a lot of these style matches with like Mordecai and Hardcore Holly, just very random, thrown together, booked at the last minute matches. And it made no fucking sense to keep on doing this. They would do this for like fucking 4 years doing brand exclusive pay-per-views until they started to lose a shitload of money because of the buy rates were fucking garbage. And then they just ended it. They ended it. They wouldn't end it until the beginning of 2007. It was like 4 years of just pure torture during this time. And I hear a lot of people saying how great, what a great time this was in wrestling. Ruthless Aggression. What a great time it was. It was better than now, but still had a lot of fucking problems. It was getting pretty shitty. Almost weirdly enough, it was like when Brock Lesnar left SmackDown, SmackDown got really shitty. When Kurt Angle was the general manager, they were putting on a shit ton of horrible ass matches. And this pay-per-view shows it right here. They were having Cena versus Booker T like every night, and it sucked every time. Yeah, motherfuckers, just a terrible pay-per-view. I would advise you to avoid it at all costs. This is by far one of the worst fucking pay-per-views I ever did see. I give it a 3.5 out of 10, and I'm being generous because there were 2 good matches, but 2 good matches is not enough when the rest is shit. Alright, motherfuckers.